So what is going on, guys? My name's Ash and welcome back to a brand new video on the channel today. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day so far. I hope it's going better than mine, at least. I am, feeling pretty terrible actually. I've got a really bad cold, not that any of you care. And to make matters worse, wait, I have a bit of an issue, I think. Yeah, I can't show you, but I've got an untradeable Sancho duplicate that I've just packed, like literally about 10 minutes ago from a 2-player pack that I got for doing the weekly objectives. So yeah, that's just made my day even worse. But yeah, in today's video, guys, we're going to be taking a look at some more custom tactics that I've been using. I switched to them like halfway through the weekend league, and I did say last week when I uploaded my 4-1-2-1-2 tactics, which I believe to be the best, I said if I find ones which are better or ones which I'm more comfortable with after playing FUT Champions, I will update you guys and show you those instead. Just to clarify, I'm not the best player this year. I finished Gold 1 on 20 wins, but I didn't play my last 2 games. The reason being, mainly, I think, is because I had to play like 22 games on the Sunday, which was yesterday, because I just left all my games till the end of the weekend because I was busy. So yeah, I got really tired and frustrated. I lost like 2-3 games on penalties, I think. And there was a game where I think I can show you. A guy sent me a message, and I opened it when I was searching for a match, and obviously if you're not in the game when you start a match, it kicks you out. So I lost the game in like the first minute as well, which stopped me getting elite, which is pretty annoying. But anyway, enough of that. We're going to take a look at our tactics, which we did swap to, and it did clutch as Gold 1 because we weren't doing too great, and then we won like 7 on the spin. So I think these are pretty decent tactics, and I hope you guys do enjoy these and find these useful. But before we get into the video, guys, I would appreciate it if you could drop it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you are new so you never miss out on any videos like this one. Be sure to comment down below what video suggestions you guys have, and also be sure to turn on notifications so you're actually notified when a video is posted. And with all that aside, guys, let's get right into the video. So where am I going? Custom tactics, of course. What an idiot. So we did switch to the 4-2-3-1, like I said. You'll see in the title of this video, obviously. We have switched to the 4-2-3-1, which was my classic formation throughout FIFA 19, 18 and 17. It was the one I was always most comfortable with, and it's the one where I got like 28 wins on FIFA 19, where I got like 36, 37 on FIFA 18, you know. It's done me good over the past few years, that's for sure. But at the start of FIFA 20, I didn't really like it. But I feel like that's because I didn't have to like sweat in rivals and stuff. Like, you know, I don't take rivals that seriously, so I was happy to just play like quite attacking football. But the moment it comes to champs and you have to focus up a bit and you have to be a bit more careful in defense and keep possession of the ball, that's when the flaws of those narrow formations come into play, I think. So I had to switch back to the 4-2-3-1 because I just thought, you know what, that's the formation I've always used. Maybe it can help me out, and it most definitely did. So the defensive style we use, guys, is balanced, and the reason for that is I've said this so many times over the years. In a 4-2-3-1, this formation is all about balance. You've got the defensive midfielders, you've got the attacking midfielders, you've got the striker, and it's just a very balanced formation. Quite good at defense, quite good at offense, but anyway, it's mainly all about balance, as you can switch up what you do whenever you want. So I like to do balance because sometimes I prefer to, you know, like lay off my opponent if he decides to come charging at me, especially if I'm winning a game, because I don't want to pull my defenders out of place. And then other times when I'm like losing a game, I would like to put a bit of pressure on, which I can also do, because balance, you know, it kind of fits whatever you need to do and when, which is what I like. So you can always switch it up, which is very nice. For width, we use 5 because again, it's not too narrow and it's not too wide. If it's too narrow, they're just going to blitz you down the wing and get an easy cutback, and if it's too wide, they're just going to run straight through the middle. So by having it on 5, you can see my defensive line, I've got my left back and my right back just on the edge of the box, which is a perfect position where, you know, you've got the wings covered, but you're also very compact in the middle, which is very, very important. Now, I might get a bit of criticism for this one, but I use 3 depth. The reason I do this is because I don't like people playing through balls in behind me and chipping the ball over the top of my defense. And the reason I've done this is not because I can't defend, but it's like, I'm pretty sure you guys must have heard, like, delay is absolutely atrocious in the weekend league. It was this weekend anyway. And if you do go and make a tackle or something, the chances are you're not winning the ball, so an opponent can easily just like cut your defense open. So I have to play it on 3 just to stop that, you know, through ball where their player's just in on goal, because otherwise, yeah, I'm just going to lose every single game, and I'm not prepared to do that, because what's the point? I don't suggest going 1 depth, I think that's way too far back, but 3, I think it's just about right for the current state of the game. Unfortunately, that's just how you've got to play, that's the meta. Adapt or lose, I guess, as bad as that sounds. Now, for the offensive style, guys, I like to use balanced as well, because as I've said so many times, and I've even said it in this video, this formation is all about balance, guys. In the 4-2-3-1, you can play it wide, you can play it narrow, you can play slow, you can play quick, you can cross the ball across the pitch, you can just pass it through the middle and do tiki-taka. You can do so many different things, and playing balanced is such a huge advantage in competitive game modes where you're playing against decent players, because what a good player will do is they will learn to read you. If you have one style, they will know what you're doing after like 20 minutes in game, and they'll start to read it, and then they'll just like cut everything you do off, and it'll become very frustrating. But like I said, if you play balanced, you can switch it up whenever you need to, and you become a bit more unpredictable for your opponent, so you can get more goals, and you are a lot tougher to play against. Like, I can say that for sure, because one of the main issues I had when playing in the 4-1-2-1-2 at the start of the week was, again, like, they could just read me after 20 minutes. I was always going for like these little triangles between my cam and my 2 strikers, and they were just easily intercepting it, and I had absolutely nothing going forward. And the moment I switched to this, I could just like, I could either run down the wing, I could play it through the middle, or I could just do some nice little like link up plays, you know, I could do whatever I wanted. So that did definitely help me. So I do suggest you guys try out balanced if you haven't already. Width, I like to have it on 5. Again, I just feel like it's the perfect width. I've already explained this. You know, it's not too compact or too narrow, so you can't like get any attacks going, and it's not too wide, so you have to literally hoof it to get the ball to your player. Because like, let's say you've got your width all the way over here, look how far away your left cam and your right cam are from the middle of the pitch. It's basically like playing a 4-2-3-1 wide, and you have to hit heavy driven passes every single time you want to pass the ball, which is not good, because long range passing in this game, you know, it's not the best, I will say that. For players in box, I like to have this on 5. The reason for this is not because I like crossing, it's just like when you get into these wide positions where you have to do cutbacks or pass it into the box, you do need a lot of options in the box, otherwise they will just intercept it. Like, if I put this all the way down to 1, like here, I've got 1 player in the box, so my opponent is always going to know who to mark, because there's only 1 option in the box, that's all I can play it to. Whereas if I have it on 5, I've got like 3 people. Well, I've got two in the box and 1 on the edge, which is really nice, because if I have all 3 in the box, there's no coverage on the edge of the box to like win the ball back if there's like a rebound or something. So I feel like this is perfect by having it on 5. Corners, I have this on 2 because they're pretty useless. I usually just play them short, and I like to pass it to the edge of the box when I do pass it short. And obviously if I have it with like, if I have this all the way on max, there's no one to actually pass it to when I do play it short, because crossing sucks. So I have this on 2 because I've got you know, coverage if the ball does get knocked out of the box, and obviously you don't get counter attacked either, which is very nice. And it's the same concept really with free kicks. Again, I either play these short or I just strike them. There's no point crossing, it's just a waste of a set piece. So yeah, I just have this on 2 because again, I've got a lot of coverage, and I've got players back if my opponent does try to counter by winning the ball back. So that is what I use for my custom tactics. Now let's move on to how I actually play this in game. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen this before. I have Timo Werner up front, really like him as a striker. He's deadly, he gets in the right positions, he's got decent he's got really good positioning. That's what I like about him. You can just play him in on goal, and more often than not, he will finish the ball. I like to have Perisic in the middle because he's nice and tall. He's got good work rates for a middle cam. I think he's medium, which means he doesn't come charging back all the time. He's got a 5-star weak foot. He's got good shooting, good passing, decent pace for a middle cam, and he's just got really nice stats overall, which makes him like the perfect cam in my opinion. I like to have Sancho and Royce on the wings. I didn't really know which side to put Sancho or Royce on, but I decided to go with Royce on the right because I feel like his near post shots with his right foot are just going to be absolutely deadly because he's got like 90 something shooting stats with the chem style I have on him, which is a hawk. And Sancho, again, he's mainly just there for the pace and the skills and to really link up the play. I usually go down the right hand side when creating attacks, but obviously I do switch that up every now and then. We've got Witsel and Delaney as my CDMs, absolute tanks, quick to intercept, pretty quick on the ball. You know, they've just got very well balanced stats, which make them very good for that position, and obviously they're quite tall. Alaba and Da Costa. Alaba's untradeable, that's why I use him, and Da Costa is just a cheap beast really. I've tried Mbabu and I don't really notice much of a difference between Da Costa and Mbabu, especially for the price difference. So Da Costa, very cheap player, he's like 2k. I definitely suggest you guys pick him up if you're looking for a right back and you use the Bundesliga teams, or even if you just use some German players actually. But yeah, that's how I play. Now for the instructions, I have Werner on get in behind and stay forward. The reason being is because obviously chip through balls and through balls as a whole are just quite overpowered, especially with how good pace is. So by putting your player on get in behind and stay forward, it maximizes the chance that you will get these quick breakaways. And more often than not, when you do play that ball, it will result in a goal scoring opportunity. Now for the middle cam, I like to have it on stay forward and free roam. The reason being is like it's nice to have like a little pivot point when you win the ball back from like an opponent's attack or something. Like if I win the ball back in my box, I've always got Perisic up there who's about 6 foot, and obviously I've got Werner up there as well, who can just control the ball and play in everyone around him to create a perfect attack. If I didn't have him on stay forward, I wouldn't have that option and I'd find myself getting pinned back. Free roam just allows him to be a bit more, you know, creative and a bit more unpredictable, because obviously if I don't have free roam, he just literally stands in the middle and my opponent can read what he's going to do. But if he's free roam, he moves about where the situation suits. Now I don't do anything on my wide cams, I just like to leave them alone. I like them being in position because it's nice to have people down the right and left hand side. Obviously if I put on like stay forward, it creates this thing where I've got like a block of defenders and then a huge block of attackers, and there's a massive gap in between where I just have to like drill the ball up in order to get the attack going, and if the opponent intercepts that, you're just not getting out. So I just leave that alone, and obviously if I had them on free roam, then the formation just becomes a bit of a mess in my opinion, so I leave them alone. Now for my 2 CDMs, I have them on stay back while attacking and cover the centre. The reason being is the centre of the pitch is the most important when defending in my opinion, because that's where most of the goals will come from. So I like to have them on stay back while attacking, so I've got people back when my opponent does like either counter attack me or just starts to attack, so they're always in position, and you know, there's not really much of an issue with my defence there. I've pretty much always got 6 defenders because obviously I've got the back 4 as well, and I like to have them on cover centre. I think I might have said that already, because covering the centre of the pitch is one of the most important things, especially for CDMs, because you can just chop up the play, intercept passes into players' strikers and get your own attack going. So your 2 CDMs are really key in this formation, so definitely try these tactics on them because it might help you out. Now a lot of people for their fullbacks do prefer to have them on stay back while attacking, whereas I prefer to have them on balanced, and the reason being is if you have them on stay back while attacking, just imagine this formation without the 2 fullbacks. It looks very strange, right? It's like a 2-2-3-1, and the reason I like to have them on balanced attack is because it just adds extra support and solidity when going up the pitch. Like if you play it up to your cam, like your right cam, let's say I pass it up to Royce and there's no fullback assistance, he knows I've got nowhere else to go other than Delaney or Perisic, and it's easy to cut that pass in lane. Whereas if I've got Da Costa overlapping sometimes, I've got multiple options. He can either go over to my right back to cover that pass, or he can go over to the middle of the pitch to cover that. He can't cover both at the same time, and obviously if he covers the centre, you can play in Da Costa down the wing, or whoever your right back is, or your left back, and do a nice cutback and get a nice chance. And obviously if he covers the right back, well, you're in the middle and you've got another goal scoring opportunity. That's why I like doing that. The only issue with this is obviously sometimes you do get caught out on the break, but you know, it doesn't really make that much of a difference in my opinion. If you get caught out, you get caught out regardless. So I like to take that chance, and it does help me attack a lot better and keep possession, believe it or not. But yeah, they are my new tactics for FUT Champions, guys. That is what I used to get 20 and 8. Next weekend, we are hoping to get at least Elite 3. That would be the dream. Even maybe Elite 1 one weekend like we did last year. That could be pretty cool. But yeah, if you guys have found these instructions and tactics useful, I would appreciate it if you could drop this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, so you never miss out on any videos like this one. And also be sure to turn on notifications so you are actually notified when a video is posted. And with all that aside, guys, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. I will see you in the next video, and yeah, peace.